How come Al doesn't do these anymore?
Coming to you live from my hotel room in Victoria, BC, Canada, down at the Sandman Inn. It's another edition, another playoff edition of In the Zone. Hold on a second here. Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
It says I can mute if I want to. Anyway, we're gonna recap the first week here, and with me today I've got Macaulay Mustangs owner Keith Salter. Keith, how you doing?
Pretty good. Sun's out this week.
Yeah,
Looks good. Worked last week. Got the dogs. Couple of walks every other day. You know, pissing down rain. Nah. But yeah, I'm getting out. It's kind of nice. It's good.
getting
Plus,
settled
there's
in.
lots of hockey to watch right now.
Yeah, getting settled in the new digs.
Yeah, just the other one's done, sold. So now I'll have to put my energy and efforts into getting this place all set up.
Yeah,
Decluttered, right?
it'll be fun.
Gotta declutter it, but
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be
I'm
fun.
not giving away any of my hockey memorabilia though.
Oh, nor
I'll be
should you.
keeping all of that.
Oh, why would you? I wouldn't
Yeah.
give mine
Well,
away either.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna try to do what you did. I'm gonna try to do what you did in your computer drum room. You know,
Are
paint
ya?
one of my room. Yeah, I'm gonna paint one of my rooms the Canucks color, and
nice,
yeah.
nice.
So yeah. So that'll take that'll be a project for, you know, a few months and whatever, and yeah.
That'll
So
be
I do
sweet.
have some things to do. But you know, it's nice in this kind of a place too, because you can actually see the TV pretty much everywhere. And if I can't see it, I can turn another TV off in another room, or turn another TV off in another room, and I'd still see it.
Well,
So
I'm gonna miss this hotel room because I get nothing but sun all day long. And my place back in my man cave in Courtney is kind of dark. So
right.
I'm really gonna miss the sunlight that I've been getting here, and I think it might be down now that I can actually open the curtain. Sort of, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so we're gonna recap what happened in the first week here. Let me put on my little glasses here, and basically we'll start with the first series that we've got up here. I guess you can't see this on your phone.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just expanded it actually.
So the Harrison Lakers and Pitter Patter. Basically, I'm surprised Pitter Patter got a goal, but Harrison Lakers easily won this game. However, it was pretty ironic at the start of the week. It was probably the worst start that Rene had ever had. it was unbelievable. And then he just, of course, caught fire like he normally does, and pretty much handily beat Pitter Patter. And it's not looking good for game 3 for Pitter Patter if they somehow miraculously come back and win the next game. What'd you think of this series?
Yeah, I was kind of watching it too a little bit early. You know, that's why it's 7 days, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in the early part of the week, you're not getting the schedule's not in your favor, but it's towards the end of the week that it is. You know, and I think we can all see and look back and go, hey, Christ, I had 25 points on Wednesday night, but I only finished the week with 39, right? What happened to the weekend, right? So, but that not being the case, really, I mean, when you look at it, it's 60 points. I mean, it's going to win you most weeks, no matter who you're playing. Pitter Patter only getting 27. That's you know, kind of pedestrian like. Just not a good week. The rest of the stats kind of dictate Rene pretty much across the board, and you know, the numbers from the regular season did not. You know, they stood tall, essentially, in this game. You know, the premier team put up a premier week. Not money maker, right?
Yeah, this is going to be like 2 years in a row, though. Steve has has gotten burnt badly at the end of the season. He was fighting to get into the bottom 4 last year, and he couldn't make it, and he ended up getting 8th draft pick, and he was so close to getting into the bottom 4.
The
And
playoffs
now
this year, though, Terry.
what?
He made the playoffs this year, though.
I don't think he wanted to.
Well, that's,
He ripped his team
he's in that
apart.
purgatory area, like always finishing in the middle. So
Yeah,
he
but
never gets the great draft pick, but he never loses a bad.
But it's
He never gets a
also
bad.
it's also like not his fault. Like if he basically finishes in 8th place, good odds are he's going to get 5th draft pick. Now he's going to get 12th. How do you build your team when you lose
Yeah.
7 spots at such an important place? And,
Well, maybe the
and
concept
then the
of
year before he could have won the 1st overall draft pick because he would have went in as a strong
Yeah.
seed, right?
Yeah.
As number 4 into the bottom 4. So he could have got 1st overall. Like, oh man, it's been rough for Steve.
maybe the draft should be like kind of done like the NHL-ish, maybe-ish. The teams that don't make the playoffs, they're the ones that can only get the top 8 picks, right? And then the teams in the top of it, the top 8 teams, those guys can play for playoff or a drafting position based on whether or not they win and lose, because they're all competitive teams for the pretty much once you get to the semifinals, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those 4 teams should be the ones that are picking last in the draft anyway. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I like our system. I think our system's great.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and you're 100% correct. He's taking it hard in terms of the way
In the
the
last
setup.
few years.
Yeah.
Could have been a
I
lot
mean,
better for him.
what do they call that? The toilet bowl or whatever? Like or the bad luck. The guy that gets the most bad luck, that's him.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. But
If he didn't
this
have
year's a
bad
good
luck, he
draft.
wouldn't have any luck at all.
Well, he's got a decent core.
Well, yeah, but the core could have been so much better.
Well, the hard part is, Terry,
We're
is that
talking.
when Renee loaded up right early, and then all of a sudden Dean decided to get into it.
Yeah, but
Ryan decided
that's
to
got
do it.
nothing to do with him missing. It doesn't matter who loaded up. He's lost so many draft spots in 2 years. That's the bottom line. Is it's just bad fantasy luck.
Yes.
And I mean,
Isn't
yeah,
that what
sure,
you-
he's still getting quality players, but it's 2 quality players from, and you can't forget that it so affects your next rounds too, especially like last year if he wins 1st overall pick. I mean, that's huge. And he ended up being 8th last year, where he could have been 1st.
Right. Exactly.
And then this year he could have been 5th, and now he's probably more than likely going to be 12th.
Well, okay, and then that's going to happen to Nick too. He was trying to get into the bottom 4, right?
Yeah,
he didn't get into the bottom 4. Now he's in the next set, and as he said,
we'll talk about
a chance. And I went, well, that's what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bottom 4 in a little bit here with the consolation. So, so anyway, that series pretty much went as we pretty much seen it go on. Do you see any minute possibility for pitter patter coming back in this?
Absolutely not. This series is over in 2 games. I'm sorry, but
yeah, for sure. All right, then we might as well move along to bring up some suds and flying colors. And boy, Garrow threw a bit of a scare into Ryan at the start of the season. Man, Garrow came out flying playoff ready. He was going toe to toe with Ryan there for a while, and Ryan just was too much in the end and overpowered him for an easy 6-1 lead. Pretty much what we expected out of this game. Well, maybe I think Flying Colors put up a good show.
He's not out of it.
No, he has a chance.
Well, I think he's got a chance. I mean, the goalie stats are pretty close.
Yeah.
So he's got a chance to come back there. The plus minus,
He's way ahead in the
he's
plus
got an
minus.
edge. He's got an edge, but we both know that you can
Yeah.
turn minus 15 into
One night.
one night, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I had
like,
I had one game with Dean on Saturday that started first on Saturday. It
Yeah.
was Tampa and the Islanders.
right.
And the difference between mine and Dean's players in that game were a +9 in Dean's favor, right?
Yes.
And I went from controlling that week in the plus minus to just all of a sudden down the dumpster.
Yeah.
And that was just one game, and the rest of my guys did bad that week too, or that night. So my plus minus, I think I was -13 for the night. That was a hard hit.
Yeah.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah.
But I think Brewing Up Some Suds are looking pretty steady here. And we talked about this last week, but Brewing Up Some Suds will have the easiest route to the finals, which is pretty interesting. But any of these 8
wrong,
teams
but I
can
think
win.
if he wins, which he pretty much should, but I think he gets the winner of the Brewers and the Mustangs, I believe.
That's correct.
And so therefore, no way. The Brewers are
Yeah, but he misses. He doesn't have to play the Lakers, and he doesn't have to play the Islanders or the Rangers.
I think you're devaluing one of the competing teams here.
Which one?
The Brewers.
No, I'm not devaluating them. It is the easiest route of the bunch.
Yeah,
Like,
because the winner of you guys has to go and play Renee. Right.
I have the hardest by a mile, or Dean, whichever, because I play Renee next, and then I'll more likely I'd play Ryan or Ryan in the finals. So if I win this year or Dean wins this year, it's going to be a well-earned win. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so let's move on to your game then here, the Brewers and the Mustangs. Dono, back-to-back 60-point weeks. Impressive.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You look at that 60 points and you go, hey, man, those are winning numbers. You're going to beat most teams most given weeks. And
yeah, you had 62 the week before.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm done, which is all right. I traded my pick, and I picked up the defenseman at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to get to carry some of that over, and the assets that I got from some of the trades afterwards. So, you know what? I wasn't going to spend to get the goaltending. Just there was no championship goaltending available by that time.
Right.
So, yeah, Brewers are going to get the easy run through this one.
Yeah. It's looking that way. So, your
injuries just decimated my defense.
Yeah, and your goaltending is brutal.
I put in Calgren and Ranta this week, thinking, "Fuck it, maybe I might get a save percentage."
That's funny. Yeah,
right. Might steal a goal.
8-18. Woo.
Yeah. So then, before you call me, I'm looking at the scores of the hockey game, and I'm going, "Fucking Koskinen's playing. He's got a shutout like pretty much at the end of the first period." And I'm like, "You fucking asshole," But anyway, good on the Brewers here. You know what? And he got some assets from me last year.
You have Koskinen for next year too?
Nope, he's gone.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, the only thing I've really got left, I've only got Vanacek left, I believe. So going into the draft next year, the only goalie I got on the team is Vanacek. So, but hey, you know what? I'm all right starting with that. I'm okay with that start. He's kind of took that job. So, but anyway, I think that
so I think we're both looking at a Bruins.
If I'm taking a dark horse right now, Brewers? I'm taking the Brewers.
Yeah. So I definitely think we're looking at a Bruins Brewers semifinal.
Sure.
Yeah. I definitely.
Sure. But
That's definitely going to happen.
that being said, I would still say that if Ryan all of a sudden got a couple of shitty injuries or something happened or COVID hit one of his,
Yeah.
a couple
Oh
of
yeah.
games or something like that, fucking he's, you know, flying colors can still come back. That's not insurmountable. In my opinion,
No, but Ryan's
he's built.
he's solid, man. He's
Yeah.
50, minimum 50, like every week now lately. So
Well, he could be.
yeah. And yeah, which basically in the top 5 that we were talking about last week, 2 were in the 60s, all, and the other 3 were in the 50s. However, we've got a surprising 50 to join that club, but we'll talk about that later. So anyway, the Brewers, it's looking good for them to move on. So that takes us to the one contest that we actually thought was going to be a bit of a barn burner, and it's proving to be exactly that. Me and Dean just went back and forth all week long, and it's funny. Now that I'm going into this week playing Dean for a 3rd time, I'm starting to realize why we're always so close in points and everything together. It's like we counter everything, and we're countering against ourselves in this game. He's got Fox, I've got Panarin. On St. Louis, he's got Perron, and he's got
Nevich.
Yes, thank you. And each one is on one of the power play units, and I have Tarasenko and Kyrou, and each one of them are on a power play unit. So
that's right.
we just keep canceling each other each way, right? Like, so it was kind of wild to watch it go down. I did think Dean had a weak penalty minute week for his normal.
I think penalty minutes across the board are generally down a little bit from the regular season. I mean, teams aren't wanting to take silly penalties and stuff now, right?
Right.
It's costing you. It's costing your team games. You know, you're trying to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think that the penalty minutes will come down. You're still going to see the occasional misconducts and stuff, but you know, it'll always be the guy that you don't expect.
Pretty much.
But yeah, between you and Dean, I mean, this is the series that I believe in the first round is worthy of a semifinal.
Yeah, I think so.
One's going to go on, and then the other's going to win the 9th pick.
It sucks. It sucks. Right? That's the true reality of it.
You know, you're going to pick 9th. If you lose the game, you're going to carry on if you win. So
but
I
could definitely see Dean coming back in penalty minutes on me next week, and points, of course, as well too. He could also topple me in points. You
left your boy Gino in there. You should be good for at least 10 from him this week.
I benched him. Man, I tell you, it's tough being rich in players, man. It was a decision. It was either him or Forsberg on the bench, and they only played
Forsberg simply because you're going to need Gino's penalty minutes, and he's going to produce them offensively.
I thought about that, but then I took a look at who they're playing, and it's more of a kind of games where Nashville should rack up a lot of goals in the 2 games they play. So
okay. All right.
So I weighed it out. I put a lot of thought into it. It was eating me up. And I also believe that even with Jeannot in, that Dean's team is more than capable of coming back and beat me in penalty minutes. So I thought, okay, the one that I feel a little more stronger with is the points. So I'm going to go with the points to try to stay ahead of him in the points. So that's what I went with there.
Yeah, well, that's the risk of fantasy hockey, right?
Yeah, but it was just like back and forth. It was crazy, and not only
everything's still close.
Yeah, I know. And the score was going 4-3 and then 4-3 and then 4-3, but it was different categories changing the 4-3. You know what I mean? Because all of them were so close. And then once that one went, then Oh well, yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I think even Dean would say that as well. So
Well, the one thing I think that's really going to separate the winner between you guys is going to be which tandem steps up this week.
yes.
That will be the
Well,
separation, I
Sorokin's
believe.
injured. Sorokin left the game, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, he left the game. He got 2 slap shots to the face, really hard ones, and so I'm thinking a little minor concussion going there. So he didn't finish the game on Sunday, and Bobrovsky sat 6 games on the bench for Spencer Knight, who wasn't playing that great, but Bobrovsky wasn't playing until the other day. I think Saturday he finally played a game, right?
You know what? I honestly think is what they're doing with Bobrovsky. And this is something that I thought about last year. He always wears out as the season progresses. And then he bombs in the playoffs. Correct? So
I
what they're probably doing with Spencer Knight is giving Bobrovsky a break.
It seems odd 6 games in a row. Just seems odd. And it
They're
was
paying him too much money to sit on the bench, though.
well, but they went night back to back. One of those
Oh,
2 of
back
those
to back
games.
nights?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And during that 6-game skid. So I'm thinking he was injured, but good enough to back up. And they've
Okay,
been
well,
and then he comes in for his 1 game and gives up 2 goals on 20 shots. So mind you, well, you got me 2 points, so you never know. All right,
well,
so anyway,
well,
it should be a great game between the Islanders and Rangers this upcoming week. It'll be fun to check out, but let's see how our people are doing in the consolation round here. So, okay, folks, here it is in a nutshell. The Florida Gators put up 51 points this week. So if Dan thought that the number 1 seeding wasn't important, he might want to think again. The Florida Gators came to play in the lottery. Woo, a huge 7-0 win over the Capitals. And the Highlanders came through as well for a 5-2 victory over the Outlaws. And we're looking at a Gators Highlander matchup this week. What do you think of that one?
well,
Hey, Dan was no slouch. Dan was in the 40s,
yeah,
around 45ish or something like that.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's only week 1. But this is reminiscent of a little bit of last year where, you know, Ryan kind of surprised, right? You know, like you
Well,
didn't think he was as strong
but
as he was. And
this is
but
the
these
game.
guys both these guys had held back some heavy hitters to go to the last round.
This is the big game because if the Gators win, they can afford to go. They can afford to lose one of their last 4 games and still get the first overall pick.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's huge. It's huge. Huge
Yeah.
game. This one coming up this week, and so that means both the Capitals and the Outlaws fell back. I thought the Outlaws might put up a better fight, but no such luck. You know, I think the back 2 here are in the back spots that they're going to be, and the top 2 are probably in the top 2 spots they're going to be.
Yeah. I think Al might get third if JP's not paying attention.
It's hard to tell. Al's got just absolutely nothing. He has 4 goaltenders. They're all injured.
Oh, that's yeah, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Skipper, fuck, man.
4 goaltenders, all of them injured. Maybe Carey Price will come back, play a couple of games. Who knows? But yeah. All right, so let's move on to the 58th. And this one was very interesting because we had a huge move on week 1. The Port Elgin Wolfpack went all the way from 8th draft pick to 6th draft pick this week because the Flames of Fleury beat the Moose Lake Jagger 6-0, and the Wolfpack beat Sealand 6-1. So both Moose Lake Jagger and Sealand were up top. They both fall behind both those guys. So Flames of Fleury move up 1 spot into the 5th round spot, and Port Elgin goes all the way from 8th to 6th. And Nick stays in the 7th spot with Chris, or not, yeah, Chris taking the 8th pick.
That's going to finish up, in my opinion, the Wolf Pack. I'm going to take Sealand, and then I'm going to take Fleury, and then I'm going to take Yager.
All right.
Yeah,
That's different from the guesses from last week too. So yeah, that's good. So yeah,
you just kind of got to look at it and go, okay, wait a second. You know, like we talked about how, you you just get that shithouse luck, yada yada yada. Just missed the bottom 4, and next, it's a big swing in picks this year. I don't really think it matters 1 through 8. It does, but it's depending on how you're choosing to draft, right?
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. The quality of players in this draft is sickening.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So, but that being said, I don't think anybody's trying to lose any game that they're putting their teams up against. I mean, it's, I still adjusted my lineup. Yeah, here's a perfect example. I just said to you, I sat Tom Wilson. He only get 2 games this week. The cocksucker gets a goal and assist, right?
Yeah.
Or a goal and a fight. Like, you fucking bastard.
Well, I had to sit Backstrom too because he only had 2 games, and Backstrom didn't do squat, so it worked out good for me. Yeah. So I had 3 guys at 2 games: Jeannot, Forsberg, and Backstrom. Backstrom was the easy one for me to sit. Yeah, but that's the luxury of the riches, right? When
absolutely
you got people like that.
Backstrom would be a 3rd line guy on a lot of teams.
Yeah, so
you could put him on your bench.
Yeah, I mean, and I benched Tarasenko last week because he had 2 games, and first game of the week tonight he gets 3 points, right?
Perfect, good start.
Yeah, so now he's in the lineup, and I take a Backstrom out. Backstrom was good for me last week. Depth is so big. And that was another thing with my series with Dean. Dean lost Werenski, and that's big too.
Yes, that's
because he's got Sherratt going in for him.
Well, Sherratt's going to get a better plus minus.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I think, but I think he's giving up a lot of offense.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
So there's an offset there. You guys have both got pretty powerful scoring lines, and
yeah, we're even. Like I said, like I was telling you, we're kind of like that. We match on each team, and we've got a lot of our good players, like Panarin. That's a guy that you count on for a big night. But
absolutely,
Fox, if Panarin's getting it, Fox is probably getting it too. You know what I mean? So
it's almost like Yoshi, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every time you look at the scoreboard on Nashville and go, they scored 3 goals. Oh, Yoshi's got 2 of them. And it's like, fuck, are you kidding me? How the fuck? This guy's putting on Paul Coffey-like numbers.
All right, so let's take a look what's happening this week. Oh, look at me and Dean. We're battling it out already, up to 5
What
points.
A shock.
What's that?
I said, what a shock.
Yeah, it's close. Big surprise. Lakers. Starting out slow again this week.
Well, there's a lot of injuries there. I'm seeing some injuries there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's only got like 4 defensemen, 2 defensemen. Oh yeah, it's been over before. He could have 100% healthy lineup and it's over.
Okay. Well.
Oh, flying colors coming out strong again. It looks like. Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, but it's only early. Oh, he's got 8 assists though. Fuck.
9.
Let's check that out.
Wow. All right. Let's see. Arvidsson with an assist. I traded. No, I didn't trade him. Arvidsson. Tuck, goal, assist.
Wow.
6-5. They came back
4-0.
Yeah, that's the last I saw before the podcast. That's hilarious.
Well, wow. 2 shitty teams in the standings, right?
So Dylan Strome 2 assists, Skinner an assist, Shen assist, 2 assists from Teravainen. Oh, 2 penalty minutes also from Strome. Wenberg a goal, 2 assists from Dolan. Wow. Yeah, Ryan will be playing the paranoid dude again right now.
Throw him a text. Hey, do you need a little bit of turley or what?
I'm his calming influence, and I'm going. He's talking like he's going. If I don't get out of the first round this year, I am quitting fantasy hockey. I will never play again. I'm thinking to myself, how many times have I been there?
He fucking. I
He
still
could.
remember
He
seeing
couldn't
you
quit if
threw
he
a fucking
tried.
Slurpee in the air one time.
What's that?
You threw a Slurpee in the air. I fucking hate fantasy
Yeah.
hockey.
It's fucking bullshit. All right,
No.
and I guess this is the big game. Oh, it looks like oh wow, Dan's strutting his muscle. Oh, Domi going over to Carolina was kind of big. But I see
Well, I still think he's going to be more of a role player than a leader.
he was playing with Kotkaniemi on the
The
third
third
line,
line.
but Kotkaniemi was taken off the ice tonight.
Well, they had okay. That's kind of shitty then. But I think didn't they play together in Montreal on the same line?
Kotkaniemi and who's the other guy we're talking about?
Domi.
Oh, they might have. Yeah. Oh, I never even thought about that. I didn't even think about that.
That could have been part of the reason. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
if we get Domi, maybe they can get fucking each other going again, right?
What is
They didn't pay a
McDavid?
lot to get him.
What is McDavid's problem? Like seriously, what's your problem, McDavid?
What? There's nothing wrong with him. He's leading the league in scoring, for fuck's sakes.
Not enough. So anyway, looks like Dan's got the early jump on young Blake there, and the Outlaws jumped up on Cats 5-4. It's close though. That 833.
Well,
833 could be a winning percentage. The CFL's got a goaltender this week. Brossoit, Grice injured. Hudobin, Price injured. Bummer.
Jesus. Fuck. I
Nick?
thought I was doing bad in the injury department, eh?
Yeah, this is a big game for Nick.
I don't think he can beat them. I don't think he can beat.
I don't think so.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually pulling for the Pack, to be honest. I have his first round pick.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right? So.
Yeah. Oh, Sealand gets a point.
Just remember that pick in the second round.
Hyman. Oh, did I get
really early?
Oh, for Christ's sakes, how did Hyman get a goal and there's no McDavid on that? Fuck. Oh, it's pissed me off. Anyway, that's pretty much what we got for week 2. So it's looking like a pretty exciting week coming up. Have no idea what will happen between the Islanders and the Rangers. They just go head to head all the time. So it's whoever's lucky enough to come out at the end is going to go on to the next round, and probably whoever loses is going to get next round pick. So that's about all we got for this week. Any final words, Keith?
Well, I think we've got a good opportunity to look at like the upcoming semifinals, because no matter what, I honestly believe all the heavyweights are going to move on, last one. So if there's 5 heavyweights, the 4 of the top 5 are going, right? So that's pretty good. And look at across the board, 62 points, and I believe the lowest of the top 4 was 50. That's 12 points. That's a difference of maybe 3 or 4 games in a week that one team might get one week, the other team didn't get.
Yeah.
So that can be evened up very quickly, right?
There was also one thing.
Good for all of this is good for the league, because it's, you know what? Even when it goes to the finals, I don't care who makes the finals. Renee's going to get a run.
Yeah, this is going to be an outstanding final or semifinals. It's going to be an outstanding semifinals.
Yep.
Like, I don't think we'll have ever had a better semifinal than these 4 teams, to be honest with you, because I really think anybody could upset anybody. The odds are
no upsets in the semifinals.
Odds are Lakers won't lose, but anybody could beat anybody in this.
Yes. Yeah.
If you need everything to go your way.
I think the teams that are supposed to win last year, guys' series, that's what's happening, and that's the way that it should really be. It's, you can't every time have an upset.
Pitter Patter just retook the lead on the Lakers.
That's early. You talked about it. Renee still got 60 points. You know,
See,
it'd be, you know what'd be interesting, Terry? Just out of curiosity, and I might even take the time to look back at it tonight. What was the fantasy stats last week for the top five? Let's say the top, yeah, let's say the
oh,
top five.
that's what I wanted to talk to you about. There was a huge jump in the fantasy stats this week. A person went from 5th to 3rd, and that would be the East Coast Brewers went from 5th to 3rd. The Islanders dropped back from 4th to 5th, and the Colwood Rangers are now 4th.
Wow. So that's kind of interesting because you and Dean are playing as 4 and 5 seeds essentially,
Pretty much.
right?
Which
Essentially.
is pretty much what we are.
Right?
compared
When
to
you
the
think
rest
about
of
it.
the teams.
So the Brewers, okay, that makes sense because Renee would be number 1, Ryan would be number 2, Brewers number 3, and then you and Dean. Fantasy stats did not lie, sir.
They never do. Never do.
You're 1 week into the playoffs, and guess what? Fantasy stats is saying this is how it should be.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've ever had it go that way. We've always had some kind of upsets.
Yeah.
There. No matter which way the Islander Ranger one go, that's not going to be an upset, one way or the other.
Well, Bo pulling off the big upset last year.
Yes, but
right,
like I mean, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter who wins between the Islanders and the Rangers. It won't be an upset.
Nope.
No.
Nope, I agree.
So, and we know the other 3 teams are getting there. So we're gonna it's gonna be an amazing Final Four. It really is. It's gonna be really good.
I'll start fucking bleeding both of you by, I figure, Wednesday, Thursday night. I'll start fucking sending you fucking text bombs. Hey, fuckers, you stressing? Lots at stake here, boys.
Yeah, I wish I could stay away from it, but I'm in a hotel in Victoria, right? What am I supposed to do? I watch hockey all day long, and like I watch the little orange light come on the the board as points are going up.
Well, but here's the good thing though, Terry. You've got teams, like I said, with the scoring that's going on right now. It's not reminiscence of the 80s style, but it's still good hockey. Because I'm like you, I'm watching multiple games on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
You get to Saturday and Sunday, and I'm going.
Oh, I watch 2-3 games a day.
Out with the dogs for a walk first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee, and 45 minutes later you come back and it's like, okay, breakfast for me, and just start puttering around and whatever. I can kill through 3 games while I'm doing that.
Not only do I watch 2-3 games, but I watch even more because the ones that are staggered, if it goes in between period, then I go to another game.
Okay, yeah.
With I usually watch the games that I got my most important players in.
Yeah.
Or my opposition's most favorite. Or
how big's the TV in there?
Well, I got my 21-inch desktop with me, and I watch on that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Anyway, we got to wrap this up. We like to keep them a little bit shorter for the playoff editions and that. But anyway, man, I can't believe we're in the playoffs. I just can't believe it's that time of year already. And that was a long season. Like I'm guessing the bottom teams are going, no, man, it's been a long season. But,
no, because the sun's going to be shining.
Yeah.
And we're going to have longer evenings, and they won't be stuck to their TVs like the rest of us.
The best part for me will be that I don't have to watch the Islanders in the springtime when I want to be outside in the yard or going for a motorcycle ride or something.
So you're going to have more to do. If the Canucks ain't there,
oh yeah,
I don't.
I'm
playoff hockey, maybe
this year. I'm going out, man.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that here, so it's been good for me. Good for the mental soul.
Absolutely. Just getting out and going checking things out.
You bet. Anyway, guys, that's what we got for you this week. I want to thank you for coming out. Keith, was there any final words from you about the
only thing that I'm going to say is there are no more pretenders because you are all contenders.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Definitely agree.
And on that note, adios.
Adios, amigo. Hola. So you guys all take care out there and peace out. He really won't. He was out.